All right, in this rudiment, we're going to learn the single drag, sometimes known as the tap drags. This is in tier number 2 of my rudimental learning sequence. It's the last one of tier number 2, and like every other rudiment, requires that you have spent some time working on the fundamentals in tier number 1, and you've worked through the list of tier number 2. So, if you haven't done the drag, you're not going to be able to play single drags or, frankly, any other drag rudiment. You have to be able to do all of your fundamentals before you add on to them. The single drag is very similar to the 5-stroke roll. It has a traditional variation. It has a triplet variation. Let's learn it in the traditional way first. So, like my drag that I learned in tier number 1, I have a bounced grace note. I can play that with multiple bounces, or I can play that with a double bounce. But unlike that rudiment, the drag, I am not playing my primary stroke as an accent. I play it as a tap. So instead of a 1, a 2, today, today, I'm just going to lower that primary stroke down to here. So I still have today, 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 bounce tap, bounce tap, bounce tap, bounce tap. It's just that my tap is down here. So you can try it first with multiple bounces, just getting used to. Or off of the other hand. Or you can do it with doubles. Very important to be able to play drags at any volume level, whether you're playing your accents really loud or really soft. So the drag part of the single drag is down here low. I follow that with an accent. So the first single drag here has a drag followed by an accent. So guess what happens with my drag? It becomes an upstroke in preparation for my accent. Boo, ba. So my drag, ah. Have we seen this before as a technique? Yes, we have. So you're learning through all of the other rudiments the fundamental techniques that you need to build upon other rudiments. So practice just that first drag accent. Drag accent. Ba-da-ba. Today accent. Today accent. Today accent. So that drag is soft, the primary stroke is soft, followed by an accent. Then you can do the second half, which is the same thing on the opposite hand. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. Once you have that down, then you can do them back to back. Now, this is very traditional. You'll see this in a lot of very old school rudimental solos with a drag accent. Sometimes we call it drag tap or tap drag. That's where the name comes from. So, drag accent, drag accent, drag accent, drag accent. So take that with multiple bounces. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba, ba-da, ba, ba-da, ba, ba-da, ba, ba-da, ba. Until you get very used to playing that motion of your upstroke and your downstroke. Then you can do it with double bounces. So it's almost like playing a 5-stroke roll, right? except for now with only one bounce. All right, so all of these skills build from one to the next. Now, the way that you're going to see this a lot of times and the way that we're going to break it down before we get to the triplet variation is by starting with the accent. So tap, drag, tap, drag, tap, drag, tap, drag, as opposed to drag, tap, drag, tap. All right, so I just turned it around a little bit. You're just going to think of tap, drag, tap, drag, tap, drag, tap, drag. All right, get that motion, down, up, tap, down, up, tap, down, up, tap, down, up, tap. Do it with multiple bounces. 1, 2, ready, go. And then do it with double bounces. Okay, so we have an accent height and we have our tap height. So I would encourage you to work on that very traditional way, either starting with the drag or starting with the accent. All right, sometimes called the single drag tap because it's one drag, single tap, single drag tap, single drag tap, or you can call it a drag tap, or you can call it a tap drag. All right, work on that first, really get that down, and then let's learn the triplet version. So now the triplet version is exactly what we just played, except we're going to take the space out of starting our accent to our next tap drag. So, have you seen this shell before? The shell, the bass, without the bounces. Hopefully you have, and hopefully you remember that that is the same bass as our 5-stroke triplet variation. And our Flam accent. Same stroke styles, 2 other rudiments. Now we're going to do it with our drag in between. So I'm adding a drag back in between here. Let's play from the right hand accent to the left hand accent. You can also do it from the left hand accent to the right hand accent. So it's the same thing when I put them back to back. I'm just thinking down, up, tap, down, up, tap, down, up, tap, down, up, tap, with the bounce in between. The only thing that's difficult about this is not playing 5-stroke rolls because we've gotten so used to playing all of our bounces in between our accents. Now it's only one bounce. All right, and then after you get used to your multiple bounce, guess what? Double bounce. All right, and once you start speeding up, you'll feel that flow that happens because the stroke styles are correct. So there you have it, your single drag or your tap drag. It's a very, very important rudiment. Also because this rudiment is a gateway to learning a bunch of other drag rudiments. If you can play the single drag either with the traditional variation or the triplet version or tap drags, then you can automatically play the double drag. So a double drag is exactly the same thing, but with two soft drags. So instead of one drag, two drags. Guess what? We can also learn the drag paradiddles. There are two of them. First one, a drag paradiddle, is a drag into a paradiddle with an accent. A drag paradiddle number two is not two paradiddles, it's two drags into a paradiddle accent. So you can automatically go from this, once you learn the single drag, learning your double drag, and learning your drag paradiddle number one and number two. The other set of rudiments that you could also learn at this time is the Ratamacues. So a Ratamacue is just a single stroke 4 with a drag at the beginning. Double Ratamacue is two drags. Triple Ratamacue is three drags. Lots of rudiments that you can learn once you learn the single drag. So I don't have this on all of those rudiments on my tiers because they're just the same stuff with a couple of variations. So learn your single drag, spend some time doing it, and then once you have that, you have the gateway to learning all of these other rudiments that are part of this. All right, so take your time with tier number 2. Make sure that you learn all of those fundamentals that we've covered in all of these lessons. And then once you have that down, you can play along with the play along tracks. And then you can learn all of the variations or the other rudiments that are the same. Then you can move on to tier number 3, which is a much more advanced level of rudiments.